I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, it looks like we have a very big long upper shadow candle. So the bears did overtake us and made us form a gap to the downside. This could be positive for a pump up later, but remember that is negative for crypto because usually when Dixie goes up, crypto goes down. Momentum does want to push down. VWAP is favoring bearish. RSI is dropping. Stochastic is dropping down. Money flow is weakening. So that 1 day does not look very strong for us. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic does want to roll away. Momentum is favoring bearish. That VWAP is bullish but struggling to hold. So watch that VWAP close. If it gives up the strength here, we will see a continued drop to the downside and possibly fill that MPP projection of that 106.547. If we see that pull back, then that would be more positive for crypto because, again, that inverse relationship. So if Dixie goes down, crypto usually will go up. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are increasing again. So this isn't very good for us for altcoins because we want those altcoins to pump against Bitcoin and give us an altcoin season. Stochastic does want to start to roll, but that's not the end of the world. Our RSI is pushing up. That VWAP is favoring bearish. Our momentum is pushing up and the money flow is in the green. So overall, we do look pretty decent here. I would watch for that VWAP to start to weaken on lower time frames, though, if you're waiting for that dominance to flip. Over on the 1 hour, we do have higher highs on that VWAP. We are maintaining a bullish trend. Momentum is pushing up. Money flow is weakening. So if that VWAP stays bullish, money flow will remain green and we will continue higher. But if that VWAP does break down, money flow is in a bit of a bearish trend. So I would keep an eye on that. Over on total for the daily, it does look like we are trying to bounce forward, so this could be positive. We do have a slight gap to the downside, though, right around that 104 trillion. So remember, gaps have an 80% likelihood to fill, so that gives us an 80% chance where we could end up pulling back. We did not make a full solid green candle like up to this body for that previous red candle, so I would still watch for more confirmation. We're not quite there yet. Stochastic does want to pull back. Momentum is pretty flat. VWAP does want to break bullish, and our money flow is trying to hold bullish as well. So we do look pretty decent as far as that VWAP making a higher low. We will get an anchor for you in a bit. So that VWAP does look positive for us to continue for a higher low. Watch for it to sustain a bullish trend on lower time frames though. Over on the 1 hour, we do have some sideways action after pumping up. Ideally, we would consolidate here, make some support level here, and then continue forward. Because remember, if you just shoot straight up, you will come crashing back down. Stochastic does want to pull back. Our RSI is starting to fall. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is breaking bearish, and money flow is in the bullish territory. But if that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, momentum will continue to weaken, and money flow will start to pull back. That would weaken most of our altcoins. So we will hop right to anchor for you, Clayton or Cillian. Sorry, cannot read today apparently. So we'll hop over to anchor for you, and then we'll jump right back to Bitcoin. So over on Anchor, we do have that similar gap up, it looks like, not quite as big as total. So remember, Anchor does love the gaps. Usually gaps are a good way to trade on Anchor. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is starting to push down. That VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum does want to push up. And money flow is in the green. With that VWAP pushing up, that does look positive. But we need those lower time frames to hold a bullish trend in order for that VWAP to flip bullish and keep that money flow in the green. Over on the 1 hour, our MPP did say there was a high chance of kind of getting stuck in this zone somewhere between this 32 and 34.26. So we are pretty much maxed out for our move forward according to the MPP. I would watch for higher lows with higher highs. If we can keep getting higher lows with higher highs, we're going to continue forward. That VWAP does have a lower low after getting a lower high, so I would keep an eye on this. If this VWAP stays bearish over the next few hours, momentum will start to push down, money flow will start to weaken, and if that money flow stays in the red for several hours, we could see a continued trend to the downside, just like back in here. So I would exercise a little bit of caution here, but we don't look like we're necessarily going to flash crash down unless that VWAP fails to overcome that neutral. That VWAP needs to break that neutral and hold if we're going to get bullish momentum. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, hopefully I answered your question. If not, let me know. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we do have an indecision candle, so I would watch. This does show that the market really doesn't know where it wants to go. There was a 75% chance of pulling back to that 101.840, so we did see that pull back. If we can see a strong green candle next and we break that 110K and hold, then we could continue higher toward that 120K probability. If VWAP does want to pull back, momentum is pushing forward, money flow is in the green, stochastic is running up, and RSI is bullish, so we do look positive on the daily. Just watch if those lower time frames hold a bearish trend. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a lower high here, so I would exercise caution. If followed with a lower low, we could see a break of that 100K, possibly pushing right around that 93K, and then that's where we could tumble lower. If VWAP does have a lower high with a lower low, momentum is starting to push down with a double red dot, suggesting that it does want to continue lower, and that money flow is going to start to push down if that VWAP does not reverse soon. Stochastic is dropping, RSI is weakening, so overall, I would exercise caution. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did call a symmetrical triangle. We said we thought it was going to break down, but we did manage to break away from it. RSI is trying to push up, VWAP is pulling back, momentum is rounding, and money flow is starting to pull back. So let's look at the 1 hour to kind of see what happened. Excuse me. So when we said it looked like it was going to go down, we said to watch because that our VWAP was breaking into the bearish territory, and we did have this kind of rejection, these two red candles. If we continued to see those lanes continue lower, we said it would be likely that we would get the bearish breakdown. Now, we saw a green candle after that, and that green candle did give us a little bit of bullish momentum. We did have a long upper shadow, but was followed by another green candle, so the bulls did step in and invalidate that bearish momentum. That VWAP does have a lower low with a lower high though. So despite us pushing up, that VWAP is starting to weaken. And if that VWAP continues to weaken here while we push up, this push up may not be sustainable. Our momentum does want to round. We have a double red dot. Stochastic and RSI are pulling back, so I would exercise caution. Over on graph for the daily, we may have like a descending triangle going on here, so I would watch that descending triangle. Could break us down quite a bit. Stochastic is starting to push down. RSI does want to make a bounce, but that stochastic does continue to fall. RSI will lead price lower. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping, money flow is very indecisive, so watch those lower time frames close. Over on the 1 hour, we do have a bullish trend going on right here with higher highs and higher lows. Right now, they are pretty straight though, so watch for that because remember, when you get that straight channel, you create a rising channel, and rising channels tend to break you down. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI is pushing forward, so just keep an eye on things. Momentum does want to push up, and that VWAP does have a lower high with a lower low, so that's more of the concerning thing. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, momentum will continue to break down, money flow will go from green to red, and we would see a break at that support level. Over on Anchor for the daily, we pretty much stopped short here as well. So again, we were looking for more of that strong green candle that would break that 34.85. We did do the TI on Anchor already, but that's kind of what we're watching for. We're kind of wanted to see that across the market. Right now, the green candles are stopping a little short, so that's why we're not too bullish right now. We need to confirm some bullish momentum and break past those previous highs. If we can't get past these previous highs, we're going to see a bearish trend form, which could bring us lower. Our momentum is starting to push down. Stochastic is starting to weaken. RSI is overall weakening, so keep an eye on that stochastic. If it continues to fall, RSI will start to curl and bring price lower. VWAP does want to push up, but right now is bearish, so watch those lower time frames as we are starting to lose some momentum here. Over on the 1 hour, we do have an attempt to make a bullish trend here. I would watch, that could be positive, but if you're looking at this current trend here, we also have a bearish trend. So while we have a little micro bullish trend, we do have a slightly bigger bearish trend on these lower time frame. So just keep an eye on that. Our stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is starting to push down. Momentum is running away. VWAP is breaking down, and money flow is starting to pull back. I believe AI infrastructure could help some of these AI coins as long as the AI infrastructure is going to talk about incorporating some of these coins. If they don't really talk about incorporating any blockchain technology, then I don't think the AI coin is going to really outperform other ones that could have some sort of partnership. So it's going to be more like other cryptos where you want to see some sort of like IBM's using this or some big company is going to use it, because once you see that big money going into a project, that's when you kind of know that that project is going to at least get some research and development, try to take off, get some momentum, and you can at least get some short to medium term gains out of it, if not some long term gains, if that project is good and successful. So I hope I answered your question there, Abolisher. VWAP does want to push forward on Algo. Momentum is trying to push up. Stochastic is starting to weaken. RSI is starting to weaken. We do have some indecision here as well. Again, stopping shy of breaking through that red candle's top. So we didn't really get that bullish confirmation that we were hoping for on any of our coins right now. Right now, we do look like we have that bigger bearish trend with a little micro bullish trend trying to form. But remember, this does look like a rising channel, and rising channels do tend to break you down. Stochastic is starting to sell off. RSI is starting to weaken. Momentum is pushing down with the red dot, and VWAP is starting to break for a consistent low with a lower high. So I would keep an eye on this. If this continues to favor bearish here, momentum will continue lower. Money flow will break into the red, and then we will see a continued break to the downside. So I would watch those lower targets like that 37.49 and possibly 34. If we can't hold those, remember we did have that projection right around that value area high. So I would keep those areas in mind. DCA in, DCA out. Thank you for watching tonight's video. Have a great night. Hit the like and hit the subscribe, and join us in that Discord.